And in business news, Assets Management Corporation of Nigeria says it will take necessary steps within the law to recover huge debts owed by Arik Air. The company revealed this in Lagos during a meeting with journalists. Effiong Ekop reports.
These journalists were called up by officials of Assets Management Corporation of Nigeria, Amcon. The issue for briefing is the huge debt of 277 billion naira that Arik Air owes Amcon. Various subsidiaries of the airline also carry different levels of debt which Amcon wants to recover.
Banks pledge this asset to us. These people have taken this loan and given this in as collateral. So that's what we are holding. We are just trying to recover our money. And we have made a series of efforts, like I said earlier, to settle this, to resolve, these loans that Arik is owed. But it's been very difficult. We have appointed a receiver manager who, stepped in 2017, took inventory of everything that is in the place, and with a bid to make sure that we stabilize the airline, no job loss, no staff. So all those things we've done. But when you have an obligor who is unwilling to cooperate with you, that drags you to court for every 2 minutes.
The indebtedness of Arik Air has reached a point of asset seizures by Amcon and other creditors in various parts of the world. The initial injection of funds into the airlines business by Amcon has not yielded results due to negative balance sheets of its operations.
The current management of Amcon, led by Gbenga Alade, is open to resolving every loan in the book of Amcon, provided the obligor will cooperate. So that is the way forward. If the obligor is willing to cooperate, we are willing to resolve, which is our main mandate, to recover our money, and we move on.
Amcon officials appear not happy with alleged media propaganda now being employed by Arik Air promoters to divert attention from real issues in the airline's insolvency. This is the reason why the Debt Recovery Agency now employ new efforts, including court processes, to quicken the debt recovery from Arik Air. Effiong Ekop, TVC News, Lagos.
Well, and the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry has raised concerns over the proposed rebasing of the country's gross domestic product, that it should not be done, the reason to incur more loans from government. Now, LCCI's president, Mr. Gabriel Idausa, who spoke during the 2025 Economic Review and Outlook Conference in Lagos, said monetary authorities should not get comfortable with rebased inflation figures. He advised fiscal authorities not to allow GDP rebased figures not to give room for more debt, supported by the argument of a comfortable debt to GDP ratio. Recall that the NDS has concluded plans to unveil the rebased GDP figures by the end of January.
We need to be more adaptable to what is happening. We need to use technology more in order to boost production and be more efficient. We also need to pay attention to government policies and ensure that we comply as much as possible, because there's a cost to non-compliance. But by and large, I believe that the business sector in 2025 will be more productive than it was in 2024.
We have seen clearly from the data that food inflation is a major challenge in Nigeria. So if you go that route, you ensure food deficit is reduced significantly. That also plays out on food security and ultimately also on food inflation, and therefore ultimately also affects our headline inflation.
Continuation of those reforms, achieving stability across the board, because you don't walk out of a reform when it's just about to really begin to benefit the people.
In other news, the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Nigeria, says the country remains committed to fostering a business-friendly environment. Uloma Oyemachi has more.
The day began with a courtesy visit by the Secretary General of AFCFTA to the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment.
Honorable Minister of Industry, Trade and
Both parties restated their commitment to strengthening trade relations across Africa, emphasizing Nigeria's role within the agreement. They acknowledged challenges like the Russia-Ukraine war, inadequate trade infrastructure and financing issues, but emphasized digital trade as a game changer for reversing these setbacks.
Mr. President has already announced in South Africa at the end of last month, that Nigeria is seeking to be champions in implementing the Digital Trade Protocol and leading Africa's investment promotion for advanced digital trade. The idea is to make sure that businesses that are operating in Nigeria continue to have an enabled regulatory environment with good regulation.
We'd like to see more countries issuing what we call certificates of origin, value addition, and increased trade flows. Obviously, we are not where we would like to be. It is early days in the implementation of the AfCFTA.
The engagement moved to a high-level roundtable with private sector stakeholders exploring Nigeria's implementation of the trade agreement protocols.
The Protocol on Women and Youth in Trade is intended to eliminate these barriers that young people and SMEs that are owned by women that they confront.
We're very clear that our singular role is to contribute to driving shared prosperity in Nigeria, but also across the African continent, which is why our strategic blueprint is being shaped in such a way to drive trade.
The visit is a strategic move to align Nigeria's goals with AfCFTA's vision, with plans to advance this agenda further at the World Economic Forum in the coming days.
The AfCFTA holds the promise to transform Africa into a trade powerhouse with women and youth at the forefront. For Nigeria, the stakes are high as it could make or mar economic integration within the African continent. Uloma Oyemachi, TVC News, Abuja.
And finally, securities prices rebound at the stock market during weekend transactions. Now, the market index, which is a prime measurement for growth, ticked up by 0.17%, showing recovery beads on prices. John Holt came top with advantage of price calculated at 0.88%. Now, others in the trade bracket were